Hello, my name is Robert Eglet, and I am a McGeorge alumni. I graduated here in May of 1988. It was the beginning of opening statements in a wrongful death action where a drunk driver had hit a woman and her two children and killed all three of them, and the husband was there in the courtroom bringing his lawsuit. And I ditched school for the next 2 weeks just to watch this trial. I was so captivated by it. And I remember, got a little trouble for cutting school, but I remember saying to my mom that night, that first night when I got home, I said, "Mom, I found what I want to do. I want to do for a living when I grow up, what I want to be." And I said, "I want to be a trial lawyer." And it was literally that first experience of watching that courtroom and watching the lawyers. They seemed like two gladiators in the arena to me, and I thought, that is what I want to do, and it's never changed. Young lawyers are not getting trial experience as they get out of law school, and so it's very important to me that they get as much training in law school when it comes to trial practice as possible, so they're more prepared when they get into the courtroom. I've done my best to mentor and train young lawyers in trial practice, but more needs to be done. A lot more needs to be done. And if I can inspire even one student here to passionately pursue a career in civil trial practice, then I will have at least achieved that goal. What you may not know is I spent my first dozen years in practice as a defense lawyer, representing insurance companies, hotels, and institutional clients. I had my own law firm. It was one of the most successful defense practices in Nevada, defense firms in Nevada. I was making more money than I ever dreamed I'd make in my life, and I was absolutely miserable because I was on the wrong side of the aisle. I literally just walked away from my defense practice and became a plaintiff's lawyer. My wife and partner Tracy was always pushing me, "You need to do bigger stuff. You're the best in Nevada. You're one of the best in the country. You need to be doing bigger stuff." And so she talked me into getting more so into product liability cases. She talked me into taking on the hepatitis C cases for the largest medically caused hepatitis C outbreak in the history of the country that occurred in Las Vegas in 2008. And said, "That's the case you should be doing. Those are the type of cases you should be doing." So I went out and got those cases, and the story of those cases, everyone knows, it put me on the national map with 4 major verdicts I had in those cases. And I suddenly realized that particularly in Nevada, there wasn't enough attorneys who had the skills and ability to handle these big catastrophic cases, because they bring in these national firms to defend the cases from New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., L.A., San Francisco, have enormous amounts of resources, and so and it's very tough. And so I just felt like with the encouragement of my wife as she's pushing me along to let's go do this. Let's go take on these big cases. They're very expensive. We have a lot of money on the line a lot of times because we're funding all the cost, but the reward in the end is incredibly satisfactory when you can not only get a verdict for one individual, you can get a verdict or several verdicts that will allow thousands or hundreds of individuals who had the same type of injury to be fairly compensated for their injuries. I've never done anything by myself. Everything I've accomplished in my career, I've had a tremendous amount of help. I have great partners. I have great young lawyers working for us who are just as passionate about this as I am. My wife has got one of the best legal minds in the country, in my opinion, and so we make a great team. And without her, I wouldn't be standing here doing this today.